that again is something that the paper contains some general points about market definition which are probably worth reading but not necessarily repeating in this session. What is important is to focus on marginal customers, not those for which there is no alternative. There is an inherent tendency when one thinks about substitutability of different types of products, different service bundles, to think about those people for whom there is no choice. Those bring easily to mind, but those are not the ones that are relevant to market definitions. Those that can change, that can switch to different products in the price increase that determine market boundaries. 3G mobile networks, 2G mobile networks being replaced by 4G or even more advanced versions. So that part, illegal investment is being needed on a much greater scale. It's also investment that has to be undertaken in the face of much more uncertain demand and in the presence of coordination issues. So we have potentially very different services in the future than those that we have at the moment. I always hate.
S'il y a un intermédiaire entre le fournisseur et bien sûr le consommateur final, et le détail s'il n'y a aucun intermédiaire. Et éventuellement, il est important que dans la définition des marchés pertinents, et cela suppose une analyse des éléments d'appréciation concernant le comportement de l'usage observé sur le marché.
Across the world. What's usually important is access to must-have content, key video content. And that's, at least in the countries in Western Europe, tends to be sport, premium sport, football mainly, and premium movie rights, first one business.
In the telecom sector, or should, on the other hand, the telecoms regulator develop skills and maybe get competencies that today are rather with the competition authority?
That is very important to bring to bear on competition complaints. So if there is a competition complaint against a firm that is not currently subject to regulatory obligations, it would be nice with the part of the regulator or consultant had a chance to contribute in sector expertise.
Mario Manivix is going to be the presenter. We have a digitalization program scheduled. A large amount of money from the US so far is being earmarked for the wireless part, broadband.
And is also the first country in the world having achieved 100% electronic public procurement services with a GDP contribution of 6.7%. In 2011, Nigeria had an internet penetration rate of 22%, with a broadband penetration, both fixed and mobile rate, of 6.1%.
If you take the Information Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka, they have had many initiatives. One is the Nanasala, then there are initiatives like the Government Information Services, e-government. Then we have another initiative which is the QoS measurement. Gradual but momentous QoS improvement was recorded in the fixed broadband operations. By creating competition among operators, we have been able to reduce the prices for broadband services. I think I have indicated that clearly in the broadband case study report how the prices have come down.
In Serbia for going the broadband route. What do you think you will get out of it?
That Republic of Serbia recognizes the importance of broadband and the very first step with legislation that will be issued by ITU and the broadband technology. future. And then we offer to our government and the staff, everybody to introduce what's important with all these things, and we have a positive response from the government side because they recognize that it is very important for the citizen in our future to do that. We have one specialties in our country that besides very liberalized markets
it was on the beginning, and of course, how I said, during the opening panel, I signed in many agreements between regulator and operator, both fixed and mobile, about the investment.
So we will be planning to introduce we are simply asking operators to maintain 30% out from their advertised bandwidth, and for fixed services we'll be asking 80%. So mobile broadband it will be 30%. So that's how we are going to address this QoS issue. But presently all operators are in a mutual understanding. If you go to TRCSL website, what we do is we regularly monitor all services and we publish for the knowledge of the subscribers. So by doing so, we will simply increase competition among operators too, as Mohan mentioned earlier, to create competition among operators to maintain proper QoS standards rather than regulator asking operators to do that particular thing. So we are very happy to say our operators are competing for, just to be at the top of these our graphs.
Could you elaborate about the nature of shared investment between the...
You asked about...
So, location and area also case study.
Services. I think it is the most important driver of broadband network, and we shouldn't forget about it in our country, because of course we can build NGN, but when the demand will be very low, so it is not have sense.
They can use it every day. That's one project. It is very important for introducing the young generation to also to use the internet. And another thing.
So we have the pleasure of having as moderator Mr. Cristian Vizcano, who was the chairman of the GSR 2011. And as you know, we have extended the duties of the chairman of the GSR for the following year, until the following GSR, not only to be an ambassador of the best practice guidelines and the
agradecer a la UIT por la invitación a poder participar en tan importante panel y el evento, en el cual se quiere generar una participación muy activa entre los distinguidos panelistas. The teachers have thrown away the old material. The children who are now coming to school and being re-engaged, staying to year 13. It really has been a revolution. And I think it's a case for every regulator. If we have the role of supporting the benefits, helping governments in e-government activities, then that will help our industry, it will grow the industry, and it will drive the demand for broadband communications into those rural areas. Irrespective of any projects, we define the projects, we look at the cost of those projects, we tender for those projects, and we take a percentage of the revenue of the operators. I think it's a very effective mechanism. The other way of encouraging
Come on. That's very, very nice of you. Excellent. This is great. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And definitely put it in my office. And it will remain in the office as long as we appreciate what they have done. And hopefully we will have
the officers to after this event next year. The officers will have a few meetings and we'll arrange some discussion also. And it's better to come with your family. Let's get the invitation. After general, I don't have much problem. Only February, I am going to pass you on. That's all. That's all. Very information. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Our last session for CTSR 12. I do welcome you in this session on the way forward. We will start to have the feedback from the Regulatory Association's meeting that was held on the 1st of October. After that, we have the presentation and the adoption of the best practices guidelines, and then we will conclude by the date, the theme of the next GSR, so the details on the theme of the next GSR.
A special presence of Mr. Rahim Ashano, Director BDT, and Mr. Anusha Palpita, Director General of TRC Sri Lanka. There were 35 delegates from 10 regional regulatory associations in the program. We had 3 sessions. We discussed the future of regulators in the world of information society. We discussed what are the role regulators have and what should be their competencies, because there is an expanding role for the regulators due to the convergence and broadband coming into the picture and its various implications in the overall socio-economic transformation of the country.
Let me take one point by point. Awareness raising and promotion of uptake by the public sector. Cloud services and the opportunities and savings they make available to governments around the world should be actively pursued and promoted. Bringing awareness of these opportunities will generate economic opportunities and provide great value to citizens, consumers, and businesses. In relation to broadband infrastructure, regulators need to work to reduce barriers to broadband deployment, actively facilitate build-out of national fiber optic networks and international connectivity links, including submarine cables, and promote infrastructure sharing and coordination of civil works, including across sectors, as well as policies to speed rights of way access and installing data center infrastructure. This will provide incentives for content delivery networks and data center companies to install locally. It is also necessary to ensure the deployment of services in unserved and underserved areas, including emergency and accessibility enhanced services. In relation to IP interconnection, regulators should seek to ensure that all users derive maximum benefit in terms of choice, price, and quality of service, and to minimize any distortion or restriction of competition. Regulators also need to ensure that ISPs provide customers with greater transparency about the traffic management practices being followed by companies on their networks. Efforts need to be deployed to overcome barriers to broadband adoption. Research and development. The proposals are: promoting R&D activities in the field of cloud computing is an essential tool for designing future-proof digital economies. And across multiple jurisdictions. Regulators should cooperate and coordinate regulatory decision making that is targeted at CSPs. Internationally, governments need to collaborate to increase regulatory predictability related to the cloud and develop common core policy principles that will assist the development and adoption of cloud.
To uncover the official copy of the best practices guideline to our new ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Chief Wiltrula. I must say that next year the GSR will be held in July. We're trying to bring the GSR to the first half of the year because of the second half that is quite busy. With project event, particularly telecom, we organize every year now.
We face a very difficult challenge in view of the highly dynamic changes in the market. Therefore, there is need to balance regulatory obligation with the investment needs. Modern IT tools have changed our lives, but there are still many problems that we have tackled. The issue of the international roaming, the cybersecurity, the frequency management is so difficult but very, very important. We should discuss about it with our partners from the market because only this can be useful for us and we can achieve our goals as soon as.
But we couldn't have done this. We couldn't have even thought of having a symposium of this nature if not for the great encouragement of Dr. Tore and his staff. The ITU stood by us, gave us a lot of encouragement. These are long processes, many of you know. They wanted to make sure that Sri Lanka is the right venue for this GSR. And I am glad that in a way we were able to come up to your expectations. I must also give my appreciation and thanks to the Deputy Secretary General, BDG Director, and the staff that worked with us throughout. Worked with my staff, the Director General of the PRC, who bore the brunt of the work. Well, I come here and make the closing remarks, but I think the full work, as you say, the work behind the scene was done by the staff headed by the Director General and the others who were throughout working with the ITU. On behalf of His Excellency the President of Sri Lanka, I wish to thank all of you from the ITU for the unstinted support you have shown. Never have we had any issue over having this symposium here or any of its related activities. To you, gentlemen and ladies, representing a large number of countries, my humble appreciation and sincere thanks for the very warm and active participation. I think you deserve an applause from me. I must also add that your participation undoubtedly enriched our knowledge. And on behalf of all involved in telecommunications and ICT, I would thank all of you for the contribution you have made to my country. I think we are richer by so much by your participation here and the interactions that you have made. Well, I am also proud to announce that the Information and Communication Technology Agency, the government agency tasked with promoting ICT, which works very closely with the TRC of Sri Lanka, created the government cloud just a few weeks back. And the best practices adopted today would greatly assist in our work. So thank you so much for taking this particular theme because it very nicely fits into the work that we do here. Well, I am also very appreciative personally and from the standpoint of the country of the honor bestowed on me to be the ambassador of the best practices Mr. Doctor. Sri Lanka will firmly stand behind it and do whatever we can to ensure that these best practices are adopted, used, and I am sure in the course of the next year or so there will be many improvements, if at all you need to do that, and I think that will enrich the knowledge of all of us who are trying to empower our different communities. All of us here today have one thing in common. We have disadvantaged communities in our countries, groups that need support and help. The technology that we create, the new systems that we create, the new knowledge that we create will all add to improve the quality of life of our fellow beings, whether we are in Sri Lanka or whether we are in any part of the world, any other part of the world. So thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for being very active participants, being friends of Sri Lanka. My apologies if there have been any embarrassments or any lapses on our part. We had tried our best to make sure that you feel homely in this country, and my only plea to you is please keep on coming back, not as regulators, but just to savor the many tourist destinations that we have in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, Secretary General, for the support you have given.
Over these years, GSR are continuously generating lively discussion on topical issues. GSR help us to keep abreast of upcoming regulatory challenges and allows us to share experiences through an open dialogue. I've heard many of you that this edition proved to be very useful to the discussions currently going.
The direction from the ITU is that I declare this meeting closed. Thank you.
No, mais